Dad, you got to do this. That all of a sudden it became an avenue for me to just share my life a little bit, which is, again, I think a pretty good life.
Yeah.
And use it as a platform for a holistic perspective. So talking about sometimes mind-body stuff, talking about how I feel, showing certain food that I think people should eat that I'm eating, just trying to keep it holistic. And what happened to me was I didn't realize how much I was going to enjoy, again, off the cuff, inspirational, like sharing, that then hundreds of people, like I would put a post at night and by morning, 500 people have looked at it, or maybe 1,000 people. Mm-hmm. And I'll get a bunch of messages that are like, thank you. I needed to hear that. I needed that. So I want to shift my energy at some point into being able to do a lot of more like 1 on 100, 1 on 1,000, 1 on 10,000 type work.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Reach way more people.
Right?
Which platforms do you use?
Instagram is probably my 90% of my platform. Uh-huh. Sometimes I'll send some stuff over to Facebook.
Yeah, once in a blue moon.
Yeah, once in a while I'll be like, okay, send it over.
Facebook, you can have this.
That's how I met you, was on Instagram.
Is that how it was?
Yeah. I found you on Instagram. There's this good-looking guy, and his name was DR.Drett. I was like, I need this guy. I'm going to find something to talk to this guy about. Yeah, so I found you on there. You remember what the first thing that you asked me was? The first question you asked me?
No. Yeah, I do, actually. Yeah, I do.
We won't say what that
was. You know what? And that's what it's done. It's actually created a lot of relationships for me too. One day I was at the gym working out and this dude's looking at me across the gym and I'm like, I'm pretty sure this dude's staring at me. Right? And he came over and was like, you're DR.Drett, aren't you? He's like, oh my God, thank you. I was like, wow.
Cool.
I fucking love that.
If you could have a billboard with anything on it, what would you put on it?
That's so interesting. Okay, so a billboard has been on my list since the day I started practice.
No way.
Because I believe that it can reach a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I absolutely hate when I'm driving home and all those billboards are blocking my view of the lake.
Yeah. Don't put it on West Kelowna there.
So I haven't because of that reason. So I'm always like, oh, billboard, but no, I won't. Now, but to answer your question, if I was to, I would probably have my whole family. All my kids are sprawled out across and we'd all be
wearing Scotty 2 Hottie shirts.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you'd be all it?
And we would just be like, I don't know, just super stoked. Not super serious, just like partying, dancing or something.
Awesome. Would it just be you or would it be for like your practice?
Oh,
you can have anything you want on this billboard.
Oh,
like just your family?
I was thinking that you were asking me about my practice. So I was like, it was going to be like family practice. Here we go. And I'd probably be in my like doctor uniform and my stethoscope. My kids would be like in the background.
Awesome.
Maybe friends. I don't know.
Cool.
Your motorcycle?
You know what? Now that you mention it, maybe I'll just put my motorcycle. Yeah, me and my motorcycle. I'll be wearing a bikini.
Tell our listeners what kind of bike you have.
I have a few different bikes.
Oh dear, which one did you drive here tonight?
The one I drove here tonight was the Yamaha MT-01, which is a really cool, unique bike where the company was way ahead of their time because it's super awesome today, but it was actually made in 2006.
It looks a little bit older when I looked at it.
So,
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so, but they only made a few of them, and they were just like a notch under the like race Yamaha bike. But the cool part of it is that it's a V-twin like cruiser engine on a naked sports bike, which nobody was doing that then, but that's what everybody like wants today.
Wow.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a goal set for myself.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. So my goal is by next summer that me and you are going to be both riding on bikes next summer.
Oh yeah.
That's my new goal. Is that I
write it down. Put it in your wallet.
It's written down, buddy, and I already got the target on the map. So I mean, it's not going to happen this summer, but by next summer, me and you will be.
Good. Well, hey man, I've got lots of bikes, so you can maybe cruise this summer and borrow one.
We're getting kind of close to the end, but I had one thing I wanted to touch on. We were talking about it a little bit earlier, and you said that naturopathy, is that putting it all good right? Okay, naturopathy covers a very wide scope, but we talked about diet being like one of the biggest factors in your health. So I just wanted to touch on that a little bit. And like, what is just like some of the like top 1, 2, 3 things people can look at diet wise that they could improve their health with?
Excellent. Thank you for asking.
You're so welcome. My favorite.
That's what I hired her for.
Yeah. You know what? It's the most important question, I think.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of big ones, but like, what are you putting in your mouth? Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you the number one thing that when I think about society and life and absolutely everything, the one thing that makes me just mind boggled that I can't believe we do so blindly is we spray poison on our food source designed to kill living things.
Yep.
And then we eat it.
Yep.
Number one, we are a living thing. And those are designed to kill cells. The other thing is, which is interesting because in the last 5 years, it's become much more mainstream understanding, but we have this ecosystem in our body called the microbiome, right, which is a fauna and flora of microorganisms that we live symbiotically with, which basically means like without them, we die. Like they do things for us. Yeah. They fight off infections.
Mites
they
in
make
their
vitamins.
Eye, like in their eyes and on our skin and stuff, right? I mean, like
right.
They're there to help us fight off
your
other
gut.
things.
Yeah, they're all over your whole body.
Yes,
they're most dense in your gut, though.
Yeah.
And that's where, again, when we're eating food that has like poison to kill living things, it disrupts that ecosystem. And again, they make vitamins. They get rid of toxins. They help digest food. They eliminate hormones. They fill niches so bad bacteria can't get in there. And then when we screw that up, we screw up a lot of systems. And then if we take it back to the mind-body, 95% of your serotonin, your feel-good neurotransmitter that makes you stoked, is in your gut. Mm-hmm. So what do you think happens when your gut's inflamed?
You're not happy.
You're not happy. Like, who's happy with a stomach ache, right? Yeah. Nobody. But it's not just a stomach ache. It's that your like serotonin isn't being produced, right?
Right.
So that's the kind of stuff where it's like people will come in and they'll be depressed or they'll be hyperactive or ADHD, and we work on fixing up their diet. And that shit goes away.
Yeah. You know what? That's a great thing. Is like my buddy that I worked with years ago. He's my friend. He had a daughter, and she was a little autistic. But you know how they pulled her out of her autistic? They changed her diet, which is about she totally switched. It was like a light bulb. Yeah, it was a light bulb that went on, and I mean, it changed her. Yeah, I mean, it did.
So your first was like to be organic as best possible. GMO, right. Okay. Right. So your second is
number one, go organic.
You know. Food-like products. Don't eat them. Just because you can put it in your mouth and you can chew it and swallow it doesn't make it food.
Food-like products. That's the best. I'm going to start using that.
Additives, preservatives, texturizers, emulsifiers, dyes, and colorings.
Gums.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, we know that. I mean, like,
I love... I don't know it hard enough.
No, but I love making whole foods. But I mean, why do I still drink pop? Why do I eat candy? I mean, is that I'm fighting that urge that much? Like that yumminess. That
you know what's really cool, Scotty Hottie, Hottie to Scotty, Scotty to Hottie.
There it is.
Is that when you actually can get yourself to a level of self-discipline where you can overcome the craving, what happens is you gain a level of self-respect. Mm-hmm. That turns into like this self-mastery, that turns into like self-love, that turns into like, holy shit, I am the master of myself. I can overcome a craving. I can choose what I want to do. Nobody, I don't like to let anybody influence my decisions and how I act. And I don't want to eat any food that does either. I want to have control over that.
Right.
And you can get there and you can do it, but it's a work. It takes work.
It takes practice. And also sugar is crack.
Yeah.
It's worse than crack. So keeping in mind that, just,
totally,
trying to like pull those back. I don't know. For me, when I eat sugar, I'm done for the day.
I put it beside cigarettes. I'm like, you smoke, you eat sugar, or you like indulge in trans deep fried fats. Those things, when I look at like the, literature and my experience and what's out there, those are the kind of things that accelerate not only like you to death, but it's like quality of life.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
And when you're young, you can take on a lot of that. But when your cup fills up,
Yeah.
Right? So you got to learn how you drain your cup and also quit filling it up.
Yeah, our bodies can handle a lot. And then it's like once you get mid late 30s, 40s, that's when like it really starts to get
So that's
even
when you, again, get a little
30s.
selective, right? You're like, no. It doesn't mean that, again, I won't indulge in something here and there, but it means that most of the time I stay pretty disciplined.
Cut it down to the 80-20 rule if you can.
Yeah. So I mean, what it boils down to is it's a practice every day. It's just something that we have to practice. And we have to look at it every day.
Lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle.
So
change.
go organic. Number one. Number two was don't eat fake food.
Yeah. Food like products.
Food like products. Thank you.
Right.
Avoid food like products. Eat real food.
I think number 3 is plant based.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So
I need meat.
You know what? Meat's fine. Make it clean meat if you're going to eat it. Make it humane. Yeah, grass-fed,
Local,
grass-finished.
Grass-fed,
know that
grass
it's finished.
Yes.
Because what will happen is they'll grass feed it and they'll grain finish it. And when they grain feed it, one of the things that happens is your body makes something called insulin-like growth factor, which is one of what a lot of people believe is the connection to why we have so much cancer in our community.
Way. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So you don't want to activate that growth factor that activates cancer.
We've been strict on the grass fed in this house for almost
and
2 years now. Grass fed, grass finished. Oh yeah, hands down. We usually actually get it from like farms that are like local where they do it. Yeah. But if not, then we'll do back up it.
So I think though, like, again, fill your body full of all the rainbow of fruits and vegetables and, nuts and seeds. And again, organic. Yeah. Not sprayed with poison. Yeah. Not baked. I think as raw as you can do it, not that I eat everything raw, but I think, again, that's like live cells with enzymes and stuff. And as soon as you start cooking or boiling, you start to denature certain things in the food source, right? So what I kind of, again, I do indulge in just enjoyment sometimes, but I think about food as like, why am I eating? I am eating to like rebuild and regenerate my body. Like that's the purpose of eating. So it's not about pleasure. It's about like regrowing. So that's what I try to teach my kids and my patients and myself is like, this might taste good, but it was designed to taste good. Yeah. Versus like this, which also tastes good. And when I'm not like adulterated with fake foods, this tastes delicious.
100%.
Like raw broccoli.
I love raw broccoli.
Yeah.
A little bit of dip.
I have a question, really quick sidebar about raw stuff. What if you have something where you do have a bit of a sensitive gut with certain foods? Yeah. Like something like, for example, raw broccoli and cauliflower, like those ones can be harder on the stomach. Yeah. So in that situation, would it be better to avoid it or just like depending on how you are with it? Because I usually bake all my broccoli. Just because I know that. Yeah.
I think, if it's creating a lot of discomfort when you eat it, don't eat it. Right. It's irritating your system. But if you can lightly cook it, again, maybe you denature or you change the composition of that plant a little bit, but there's still a lot of nutrient value in there, provided you don't like roast it to like, or boil it. Don't boil it away. You lose all these fats, water soluble vitamins when you boil things. Yeah. So there's certain ways to cook them to preserve it best, but it can be easier on your digestive system. Right. So I would say like certainly don't rule them out if you can like lightly roast them and enjoy them.
Oh, I eat it like every other
day.
And
add like, this is what a lot of people don't realize is like spices rock. Like learn about your curries and your turmerics and your thymes and these things are not only like food, but this is the medicine. Like I'm learning how turmeric stops inflammation in the the So
it's huge. Yeah.
Why wouldn't you just sprinkle some on your chicken? It tastes great.
Turmeric lattes. I make them every day. They're so good.
There you go.
Yum yum.
Yeah.
So we're talking about foods. Like, so do you think that like capsaicin, like hot food, like mucho hot foods, is like good for your body, or do you think there's any beneficial thing to eat lots of sriracha sauce or like habaneros or?
I don't think there's probably any benefit to super hot sauce, though I like hot things and I eat it. I'm again less about the sauces. I'm more about the herbs and the spices. Not to say I don't eat a hot sauce and some sriracha sometimes, but again, like take some cayenne pepper, man, sprinkle that on with some Himalayan sea salt and then maybe a little paprika. Oh my God. You're now not getting again like some sort of like altered sauce that might have sugar and other junk in it. You're getting like the real herbs that 100%. Have medicinal value.
Yeah. Honestly, olive oil, salt, and pepper make everything taste like deadly.
You my God. Take some yams, roll it in that, and then bake the yams.
Like, do it all the time.
Turns like into candy, right? You're like, this is like eating candy.
Yams, asparagus, zucchini, broccoli.
My favorite is beets.
All those foods too, I could like spit out like health properties in them. That's like, oh my God, that's anti-cancer, broccoli. You know, that's like hormone supporting